Good morning and welcome to the class. So today we are going to study a very important topic, that is classroom management in effective manner. Now first of all, we must know what is a classroom. Classroom is actually a place where the teachers and students gather for the purpose of learning, and ideally everyone involved is there with good attitudes and behaviors and a willingness to learn. So the teacher presents the lesson. The students try to absorb the material and everything goes well. But however, this ideal situation is not always achieved. And for this, a teacher needs to know how to manage his or her classroom well. So the learning objectives for today's class is to create awareness about the numerous techniques and ways to manage a classroom, to learn to organize and facilitate the flow of learning in the classroom. It never stops. To maintain a positive, productive, and learning environment and foster a safe classroom. To assist students to remain focused on their task and reduce distraction from learning. So these all are the learning objectives for today's class. So what is classroom management? Classroom management is a way of organizing the resources, pupils, and helpers so that the teaching and learning can process in an efficient and safe manner. So, this is the literal meaning of classroom management. It consists of techniques and attitudes through which a teacher controls their classroom environment so that the student learning continuously goes on, and student misbehavior or any kind of indiscipline is effectively minimized and redirected. So why is classroom management important? Satisfaction and enjoyment in teaching are depending upon leading students to cooperate. So this is very important. A teacher will feel satisfied only when when their learners are coordinating well, they are following their instructions, and they are cooperating in the teaching learning process. Classroom management issues are of highest concern, especially for the beginning teachers. Yes, with the time period and with the experience, teachers know how to handle the various situations in their classrooms. So first of all, we will discuss the principles in classroom management. So that is consistent proactive discipline is the crux of effective classroom management. So first of all, what we need to follow or maintain is the proper discipline. As it is said, prevention is better than cure. So before this thing happens, we know that these things happens in our classrooms, but before these things happen, we need to take prevention. And how can we do that? If we are proactive in our approach to discipline, we prevent unnecessary disciplinary problems from cropping up. We have not to wait for disciplinary problems to erupt for us to take a move. We can be, follow certain uh, instructions or give some instructions or have some rules in mind, or we can set some rules for the students to follow in the class so that we can be proactive, and thus do not wait for this kind of classroom indiscipline to erupt. Now, what else we can do? We can establish routines for all daily tasks and needs. The routine collection of assignments, passing of papers, preparation of experiments saves us a lot of time and effort if it is all goes on in a sync. We have not to explain or instruct our pupils, students, on how to pass papers, how to collect assignments, how to prepare for experiments daily, because we have established the routines for these everyday tasks. So it will automatically come into the habit of the students. They will become a habitual members of the class. So this will be easy for you. Then orchestrate smooth transitions and continuity of momentum throughout the day. So it should all be goes on with smoothly, smooth transitions and continuity of momentum throughout the day ensure us that every instructional moment is made use of wisely. No unnecessary confusion is created so that there will be no restlessness among the students, and only restlessness leads to disciplinary issues. So this, if smooth things are going on in the class, you will not face any kind of mismanagement. Next way is to strike a balance between variety and challenge in students' activities. A variety of students' activities will ensure that students' multiple intelligences and varied learning styles are considered in the conduct of student activities. So, we all know that according to Gardner, there are multiple intelligences which can be handled by a student. His IQ is not only in a certain area, he can be intelligent in various areas. Multiple intelligences can be there. And so we have to follow the varied learning styles. So most of the time, our activities fall under the word use, talking, writing. It will certainly challenge the linguistically intelligent students, but it will create boredom in the logic and math wizards and other groups of different intelligences. So we have to take care of this. We know that we have different kind of students in our class. So for that, we have to develop certain activities. We have to conduct such kind of activities in that way that all kind of students take participate in it. And when boredom creeps into the classroom, it will definitely lead to then disciplinary problems. So the boredom, as we all know that we learn about the stimulus variation skill during our micro teaching classes. In that we are taught that a classroom needs changes every day. Classroom situations are not same daily. It changes. It's not always as we have expected that it will be today. So sometimes during the classroom teaching process, we can do certain activities so that the students become alert. We can take help of various components which we are taught during the stimulus variation. We need to give various stimulus to our students to make our teaching learning activity interesting to them. Sometimes because our mind is not always focused on one thing every time. So you as a teacher, you know all the psychological aspects also, you have learned that. So you know that your students need diverse attentions. Yeah, they need diverse kind of teaching activities. So for that you have to involve them also. You have to create stimulus, different kinds of stimulus to bring interest in the class. So you should know how to go away with the boredom which is creeping in the minds of the students. As a classroom manager, be aware of all actions and activities which are going on in the classroom. So, our heightened awareness of everything that is happening in our classroom puts our pupils and students on their toes all the time. So they will be alert every time that the teacher can ask them anything, everything, or can ask them to do anything at any point of time. So, while you are writing on the board, we are taught that you should be 45 on 45-degree angle while writing on the board. Why is it said so? It is told so because there is a logic behind that. When you're writing on the board, you're not aware what is going to happen behind your back. So you have to maintain eyes on the back of our heads also. So the students must know that if a teacher is writing on the board, that doesn't mean that they are free to do whatever they want. So that will make our pupils and students feel that we know what they are doing. So they will be alert every time. This is a concept which has been given by Kunin, and it is called as with itness, that we are aware whatever is going on in the classroom. Then we need to resolve minor inattention and disruption before they become major disruptions. So by the time, with the experience of teaching, we know that how disruptions occur in classrooms. With the small problems, it can turn into a bigger problems. So as it is said, a stitch on time saves nine. So it aptly applies here. We have not to wait until our class is out of control. Conflagration begins with a spark. Conflagration means the fire. So a minor spark can lead to a big fire. Put out the spark early enough to avoid the large scale conflagration. So we ought to respond to inappropriate behavior promptly. We have to take action swiftly, and sometimes without knowledge of students what you are doing, and sometimes you have to instruct the students what do you want. Reinforce positive behavior. Yes, students will not accept every time you try to create negative environment in the class, you scold or reprimand them. Be generous with genuine praise. Do not just praise for the sake of praise. Some teachers are quite stingy with praise. They just praise so that the students feel happy and they just sit quietly and listen to them. So some teachers are over generous with their praise. Their praises overflow so much that they give praise even when it is not appropriate. So our praise need to be genuine, and the students must know that it need to be earned with their hard work. So it must be given according to the merit, according to the hard work which they have done. They should know that they need to do their work originally. Then only they will get that. It is our way of appreciating and recognizing hard work and good behavior. Treat minor disturbance calmly. Do not make a mountain out of a mole. We all know the meaning of this, that if a stern look or gesture can kill the inappropriate behavior, so do it. If you will, if some interruption is there in the class, for example, if a mobile is ringing in the class, you know that it is not allowed in the class, but still it is with the student. So instead of making so much of fuss in the class, what you can do is you can just stare, give a stern look to the student, and he knows that he has to silent that mobile or shut down the mobile and do not bring it in the class. So that's the end period. Let's not make any fuss about it. So, and with that only, the other students will also understand. So this will all be done mutually. So we don't need to create disturbance every time. We need to handle certain situations calmly also. Work out a physical arrangement of chairs that facilitates an interactive teaching learning process. So on the basis of your selection of teaching strategy, you can make arrangements in the classrooms. So that depends on you. So there is no doubt that external environment also affects us. The most common arrangement of tables and chair in the classroom is the one where the teacher's table and chairs are in front of the student's desk or chairs that are arranged in rows so that facing the teacher. So this seat arrangement does not always enhance interaction among students. This is not always possible. So let us work for a flexible seating arrangement where we can rearrange seats or desks to suit our learning needs and conditions. So in the later part of the class, we will discuss about the seating arrangements which can be done by the teacher regarding their on the basis of their teaching strategies. Make use of every instructional moment. Minimize discipline time to maximize instructional time. Instead of wasting time every day on giving instructions to the students regarding this and that, you have to follow this, you should do this. Instead of that, we should try certain aspects, certain techniques, so that we can minimize this kind of problems and maximize our instructional time, which is the main purpose of our classroom teaching. So the prevention of disruptive behavior preemptively as well as effectively, responding to it after it happens. So that will be much more beneficial. Now let us take a look at the classroom management techniques. First is the management of time. This is important, as we know that time is of the essence in learning. We cannot waste time. How much students learn depends upon the amount of time they spend in learning. The impact of time, however, on achievement is influenced also by the quality of the instruction and the learning task. No matter what amount of time is spent, no learning takes place if there is poor instruction and poorly devised learning tasks. So it doesn't mean that you have been teaching for last 40 minutes and your students will be able to grasp that. It is not so. If you have not given proper timing to your planning part, it may lead to poor instruction, and that will be a poor impression on the students. So it is observed that classes where students are occupied with learning activities, time is managed properly and they learn more. So here are some techniques which can be used wisely by the teacher. Orchestrate smooth classroom transition so that it doesn't waste time. Remain involved with the students during the entire class period, allowing for no idle time. So they don't should be the students should not be given idle time, even to talk with each other, even to solve their confusions. What you can do is use fillers in case you finish the lesson much ahead of time. So example of fillers can be reciting a favorite stanza, a favorite poetry, a favorite story, or any incident which has happened recently, or any news from the newspaper. Then letting others explain the meaning, or conducting a short contest about the lesson, or a kind of quiz you can conduct. So this will make them alert, and it will not waste time. Use a common place to keep materials such as scissors or the school supplies or whatever things you are going to use in your teaching learning process. So this saves time. You don't have to look for them when you need them. Follow a consistent schedule and maintain the procedures and routines established at the beginning of the year. So in the first class, you set up the rules, and till the last class, these rules will be followed by the students. So this will manage time. Prepare all materials, all instructional materials in advance. Make clear and smooth transitions from one part to another. Limit the time of disruptions and interruptions through appropriate behavioral management technique. And for quality output within an allotted period, here are some suggestions. Schedule all activities with the corresponding time allotment, so that prepare well in advance. Early preparations will avoid haste and confusion. So this will obviously save time. Provide enough time for everything you expect to happen. Avoid rushing, since you know you have carefully allotted required time for every activity. So do not let the quality to suffer. Anticipate difficulties or the failure of some of the operations in order to be able to pursue alternative actions. These are the very simple things which everyone knows, but they have to implement that in the real classroom situations. Be flexible with the time assignments. If students are observed to be so interested and eager to continue working, allow a little more time for them to complete and achieve the objectives with satisfaction. Set the example by showing that you are time conscious. They will develop the same precision regarding time utilization. So they will follow you. They will follow your instructions, because students also like the managing things. They will also follow the punctuality which you follow. They will also do the regular things which you want them to do. So they will also follow you. Now, the management of discipline. Discipline is a controlled behavior which you have to control. It constitutes the next important concerns of teacher as a part of good management. No matter how well managed a learning environment is, students will sometimes occasionally misbehave. Teachers must be ready to deal with them with utmost care and consideration. So there may be some causes of disciplinary problems, some unfavorable learning conditions and some favorable learning conditions. So while discussing the unfavorable learning conditions, the classroom may not be conducive to learning if it is overcrowded. Many students are sitting in the class, more than which are allotted in the class. If there are poor lighting facilities, inadequate ventilation, no passing of the air, with the furniture and storage cabinets, they are positioned disorderly, and the classroom is overstuffed, feeling like uh, inadequate ventilation, making the collection and retrieval of tools less efficient. You don't have resources there, you don't have proper electricity switches there, they are not, if they are there, then they are not working, with an inappropriate seating arrangement such that distractions can easily occur. Some noise making students are sitting together, some weak students are sitting together, or the uh, students which have greater heights are sitting in the front. So there can be many problems. These all are classroom management issues. Sources of noise are near the classroom. These are obstructing the understanding of the lesson. Teachers' poor management skills are also unfavorable learning condition. The teachers' lack of adequate knowledge and skills in handling how to handle the misbehavior, how to prevent the troublemaking students. The varied background of students can also be an obstacle. The students bring to the classroom a surprise record of individual attitudes, interest, and abilities. And these characteristics could be traced from their differences like their family background or their physical and mental capacities, their emotional traits. So, how to prevent these discipline problems? The teachers can implement group oriented methodologies, which is very important, so that the students interact more and more with each other, like cooperative learning approach, team teaching or team learning, peer tutoring, group projects, collections. So, more and more collaborative learning approaches should be considered. Use variety of teaching techniques so that to avoid boredom. Develop patience, compassion, genuine respect, and care for the students. Think in the way of students. Schools differ in how they achieve and maintain good discipline. Following are some common practices. Discipline, they consider that it is the student's responsibility. If they misbehave, the teacher accept no excuses. They must be ready for the consequences. So this is how the most of the schools behave in regarding the maintaining the discipline issues. Discipline is the teacher's way of establishing a desirable student oriented environment for learning. Discipline is coupled with effective teaching strategies and techniques. Discipline is achieved through the effects of group dynamics on behavior. Discipline is believed to be the exclusive responsibility of the teachers. So there are certain acceptable ways and there are certain unacceptable ways of doing away with the discipline issues. These are certain acceptable and effective ways. These are: use verbal reinforcers, we know reinforcement, and encourage good behavior and discourage the bad tendencies. Make use of non-verbal gestures like the stern eye look, frown, or a hard look to dissuade from the mischiefs. Dialogues can help in discovering problems. You need to sometimes find out, or you can refer them to school counselor. Agreeing on mutually beneficial solutions. Focus attention on one who is unruly and is about to disturb the neighbors, so that you can make a seating arrangement for that one student differently. This depends on you. award merits for good behavior and demerits for inconsistency on any kind of lapses on the part of students. A private one-on-one brief conference can be done with the students so that it can lead to a better understanding of mistakes that need to be given remedy or can be improved. Give students the free to express or explain their agitated feelings and misgivings rather than censor them right away. So this is very important. Every student need to be heard by the teachers. Then there are certain unacceptable and ineffective ways which will not always work in the class regarding maintaining discipline. These are scolding and harsh words as a reprimand will have a negative effect on the entire class. Keeping a student in a detention area during or after classes as a penalty for misbehavior is a waste of time, and it is not always effective on the students that they will improve, and this can become shameful for them, and it is not easy to forget for some students. Nagging and fault finding, always taking names together with long sermons, that is not good. Denying a student some privileges due to unnecessary hyperactivity, that you cannot control an hyperactive student, then you are not making note of that student, you are ignoring them. It can also lead to more encouraged repetitions, that student will think that I can do whatever I want in the class, I can take any action. Assignment of additional homework compared to the rest can make them dislike the subject. You want to give punishment to few students, you have given them additional work to be done, so maybe it can lead to in the long way disliking of the subject later. Use of sarcasm to humiliate and embarrass a student is not good always. Grades for academic achievement should not be affected due to any kind of misbehave. So you cannot be impartial to the students who are not listening to you. You have to take action, you have to prepare for any remedy, you have to take out any technique how to control this misbehavior in the class. Then the management of physical environment is also necessary. Furniture arrangement is very important. Furniture such as chairs and tables for demonstrations or displays must be positioned appropriately. So whenever you are showing certain kind of model, you are showing certain PPT, you have to arrange the class for that. Exhibit shelves either permanently to the wall or prepare a side shelf where these kind of exhibits could be shown. Whiteboard or the green boards for writing and clarifying lesson discussions together with bulletin boards are available for posting of important messages, notices, and outstanding pieces of student work, art and illustrations can also be shown. So these are certain seating arrangements, the sample seating arrangements which can be done. So traditional rows, this is a traditional way in which the door is at the in opposite of the teacher where the teacher is sitting. So this arrangement allows students to focus on you when you are lecturing or teaching routines and procedures. So it is great for direct instruction. Otherwise, the students will always be looking out of the door. Then this kind of arrangement is students face center of classroom, where the position student desk so that they face the center when you are facilitating classroom discussions. So this can be done while doing discussions or demonstrations, or while doing skits or role playing or student demonstration. So it creates a friendlier atmosphere and it brings variety in the classroom teaching. Then this can be done students at tables face front of the room, so it can be made in the semicircle form. So when there are any kind of small group activities, they can move their chairs to face each other. This arrangement is ideal for cooperative learning activities. Be aware that seating students in groups invite dialogue, which is great if that is your purpose. Then this format is wonderful if you have desks before you can rearrange them for traditional rows into groups and back again, depending on your lesson plan. So teach students how to quickly rearrange the desk to facilitate small group works. So in this way, it will be very easy for you to carry out all kinds of teaching strategies which you have planned for a class. So the physical condition of the classroom can also be maintained by the teacher. Clean rooms, hallways, and surroundings are the places where everyone wants to stay. The teacher should schedule or ask the responsible persons for their neatness on a regular basis. A teacher cannot give a back eye to certain things. The physical environment must also be a safe place where curious, overactive, and energetic children are always on the go. So classroom environment is also very important. During class hours, proper lighting and ventilation must be provided and maintained for everybody's comfort, depending upon the facilities provided by the infrastructure provided by the school. Management of routines refers to the established activities of procedures that are repeatedly done daily. So teach pupils to learn how to form various grouping and return to standard arrangement with minimum confusion. So they must know if there is any kind of cooperative activity, what kind of sitting arrangement they have to do. If there is any kind of discussion, what they should do. They should be automatically done by them. Do not use the first few minutes of the class session to collect materials when students are potentially most alert to instruction. So make utilize of the first few minutes of when you enter in the class. This is the most important part. Overlapping technique is used for collection and distribution of materials. It refers to the teacher's ability to attend to the task at hand and at the same time prevent an extraneous situation from getting out of control. Prepare for transition by planning distinct types and sequences of teacher pupil activity. Example, checking of homework, assignments, presentation of new material, giving assignment, monitoring seat work. So transition should be quick and quiet. Management of relationship. This refers to the emotional climate and communications affecting learning conditions. So maintain positive climate characteristics which allow students to choose a variety of activities to achieve common goals. Develop sense of interdependence, common bonds, define group expectations, relationship qualities, so that a wholesome emotional climate is created in the class. Develop communication characteristics that promote conducive and positive relationship among the students. They try to understand each other's viewpoint. Render different forms of assistance by providing class meetings or students to have an opportunity to examine the ideas, feelings that influence their value judgment. So this is how we talked about a very important topic of managing our classrooms, which we all think that it is very easy to do, but it is not such. Because of the daily changes in the classroom situations, these are not always ideal every time. And classroom management is action oriented and goal oriented. So we go into our classrooms with certain goals and actions which have to be completed, and we have to consider the big picture goals. We need to create the successful learning environment in the class. We have to create positive impact on the students. We need to support and facilitate academic and social emotional learning. We try to maintain order, but in a way such that it optimizes the students' learning. We need to encourage and establish student self-control by providing positive student achievement and behavior. So on the perspective of student, effective classroom management involves clear communication of behavioral and academic expectations as well as cooperative learning environment. So this is how we can see that these small things are very important in our daily classrooms. So this is not a one-day affair. We have to do this as a habit, and we need to teach our students also how to develop these habits and how to maintain discipline in the class or behave properly. So ideal classroom can be implemented through teachers' efforts and students' training. So students experience is if we teach our students various experiences, that will lead to well managed classroom, and they will more likely to cooperate in our classroom, and thus help their future teachers and the classmates. So I have given certain references here which you can make note of. These are various international and national websites which are available for your references, and all have different views regarding managing of classrooms. And it will be very interested to know that how every country teachers are struggling to maintain their classroom, to make their positive classroom atmosphere, and this will be very helpful in your future teaching. Now we will move on to our next section, that is evaluation questions. And the question number 1 is, if teachers are dash in their approach to discipline, then unnecessary disciplinary problems can be prevented from cropping up. The options are less active, proactive, anti-active, or slowly active. And the correct answer is, we need to be preactive, preemptive, proactive in our approaches to discipline. We need not wait for that thing to happen. So we have to prepare it in advance. So the correct answer is proactive in the approach. Question number 2 is, dash refers to the skills and techniques that teachers use to keep students organized, orderly, focused, attentive, on task, and academically productive during a class. So what is that? The options are classroom management, bad atmosphere, mismanagement, or utter confusion. So by going through the options, we can clearly say that the first option is the correct one. We don't want to create bad atmosphere. We don't want mismanagement, and we definitely do not want the utter confusion. So the classroom management are the skills and the techniques which are to be learned by the teachers, so that they can keep their learning atmosphere productive, and the students to be focused and attentive. Question number 3 is, it is observed that classes where students are occupied with learning activities, where dash is managed properly, they learn more. So what is that factor? One factor, if it is managed properly, they will learn more. The options are school, time, building, or principal. So the correct answer is time here, because the time management is very much necessary. It will lead to productive learning. And if it is done, then the students will also be occupied with the learning activities timely. And they will also learn the time management. The next question is, concept of withitness by Kunin means, this concept we discussed while going through in the class today. The options are being aware of what is going around in the classroom, to know the latest progress of the students, to find out about the different websites, to ensure cleanliness in the school building. And the correct option is, if you remember, that the first option, that is the being aware of what is going around in the classroom. So the withitness concept should be there with the teacher whenever he is turning his back in the class, whenever he is using the blackboard or the whiteboard, or making use of PPT or the LCD projector, whatever they are doing. They must know, they must make aware their students to know that they are aware whatever is going on in the class. So they have eyes on the back of their head. So the student should be alert and at toes every time. Question number 5 is, identify the wrong statement of dealing with discipline problems. We have to identify which is the wrong one. The options are: use verbal reinforcers that encourage good behavior and discourage bad tendencies; use nonverbal gestures, frown, or a hard look to dissuade them from mischiefs; focus attention on one who is unruly and is about to disturb the neighbors; involve parents every time any problem occurs. So this does not seem to be right, because we cannot involve parents every time if any problem occurs. If there are certain serious situations, then we can take help from parents. But teacher is the leader of the class. They have to facilitate, they have to handle situations whichever is happening in the classrooms while dealing with the discipline issues. They can take help of the parents, but not every time. So this is the incorrect statement. Next question is, which of the following will not bring for quality output within an allotted period? So we have to work for the quality in the classroom, and the options are: provide enough time for everything you expect to happen; avoid rushing since you know you have carefully allotted required time for every activity, quality may suffer; anticipate difficulties or failure of some operations in order to be able to pursue alternative actions; always plan at the last moment. So after going through all options, we know which is not going to bring the quality output, and that is always plan at the last moment. If we do so, then it will not bring quality. It will be quantity, just in another class, you will be routine class you will be taking, but it will not ensure any kind of learning outcomes which you have expected. Question number 7. What are the favorable conditions for the classroom to make it conducive to learning? Options are: overcrowded with more than the regular number of students to a class; with poor lighting facilities and inadequate ventilation; with furniture and storage cabinets disorderly positioned; with proper seating arrangement. And the correct answer is proper seating arrangement. So this is the favorable condition which can lead to a proper positive learning environment, or an effective learning environment. If everything is disorderly done in our classroom, there is poor lighting facilities and it is overcrowded, the students are not listening to you, the furniture is lying here and there in disorder way, then it will not lead to conducive learning. Question number 8 is, what should be avoided while managing classroom? The options are: use of ridicule or sarcasm to humiliate and embarrass a student; teach pupils to learn how to form various grouping; follow proper patterns and instructions; or none of the above options. So here we can see that none of the above options is not correct, and B and C cannot be avoided while managing classroom. These are very important things which need to be taught to the students. Yes, the option A can be avoided. We should avoid the sarcasm so that we don't humiliate or embarrass our students in the class in front of their peer group. Question number 9 is, which of the following is not the 3 C's of classroom management? So after going through the class, we would be able to identify the incorrect C, which is not required in classroom management. The options are: cooperation, conflict resolution, civic values, or the content. So the correct answer is the content, because cooperation is needed, conflict resolution is then and there needed, and the civic values, how to behave as a citizen, how to behave as a member of the classroom, is very important. Question number 10 is, following is not the role of teacher in classroom management. So after discussing so many roles, we can identify the correct answer. The options are: planning, organizing procedures and resources, arranging the environment to maximize efficiency, no monitoring of student problems. So first 3 options are the very much important roles of teachers. Without this, they will not be able to create a good classroom management. And the 4th option is not the appropriate role of teacher, that it is not correct that they are not monitoring the problem of the students. They have to regularly monitor, even they have to move in the class throughout the class so that they know what the students are doing. So with this, we come to the end of the class today, and I hope you will be able to utilize these techniques in your classrooms and happily manage your classroom to make a conducive atmosphere in the class. Thank you very much for the patient listening, and we will see you in the next class.